Okay. Let's talk about the implications of this Facebook post made by General Parlade. So he made it clear initially that that people should not tread bait Liza Soberano, but he also issued a warning to the actress and other celebrities against being part of your organization. How do you respond to this?
Actually, we are not surprised, no? Kasi ginagawa naman talaga ng military yan for how many years na, no? Palagi nilang sinasabi pero hindi naman nila kami ma maiano sa korte. So, ibig sabihin, wala silang ebidensya. Those are all lies. Kaya ganun yung kanilang ginagawa.
Now, for the record, also, is Gabriela or Gabriela Youth recruiting Liza Soberano to be a member?
Actually, I do not have, wala po akong wala po akong information if the Gabriela Youth is recruiting her as a member. Pero ang alam ko lang, she was invited for a talk on the webinar about the girl child, kasi girl child month po ngayon eh. So, definitely may mga activities ang Gabriela on that. And well, kami naman, we have not talked personally with Liza Soberano, no. So hindi po namin siya kinakausap pa.
But in your case, would you like her to be part of Gabriela Youth?
Yeah, why not? Because we have so many members in Gabriela na in the entertainment industry also, no. So, naming mga interested na mga kababaihan sa atin. Sumasama at nakikipag-collaborate and everything.
Okay. Now, you were also mentioned in the statement by General Parlade. He said that shame on you and your party if you haven't informed your recruits about your hidden violent agenda. And this was in the context of if you become part of Gabriela, you will become a member of the New People's Army later on. Is this true?
That's the problem with with AFP officials na naggaganyan, wala silang ebidensya, hindi naman sila actually dapat niya ako dinimanda niya na lang ako in court kaysa ganyan, kasi actually yung recent nilang demanda sa Supreme Court, it was dismissed. It was about kay Congresswoman Sara Elago. And ang sinabi nila doon, kidnapping yung case niya, pero apparently wala naman silang ebidensya. Kaya ang nangyari, dinismiss ng korte. Ngayon, ginagawa to sa akin, ginagawa to sa aking organization at grupo, wala rin naman silang maipakita sa amin. Wala naman silang proof, wala naman silang anything. So ang ginagawa lang nila, vilification. Pag-usapan natin kung ilan talaga yung human rights.
Yeah.
Mga pinatay.
But before we go to that, Congresswoman, I'd like you to respond directly to that allegation by General Parlade. If you become a member of Gabriela or Gabriela Youth, eventually do you become a member of the New People's Army?
No, of course not, 'di ba? Kasi siya tawag dito, ang aming partido ever since 20 years, nakita niyo naman sa iba't ibang mga larangan nandoon ang Gabriela. Kahit saan po na larangan nandoon ang Gabriela.
Okay. Now how about this other allegation? Because basically you mentioned the term mansplaining. This is how a lot of people saw that post by General Parlade. But he also mentioned that there should be an education for the celebrity targets of your organization. Because according to him, Gabriela Women's Party is actually the malayang kilusan ng bagong kababaihan. And it's just masquerading as Gabriela. How do you respond to this?
Hindi po. Iba po yun. Magkaiba talaga siya. No? Nakita niyo naman, iba yung terms na ginamit. Iba din yung Gabriela Women's Party. So, definitely, it's different, diba? Kami po, we have legitimate issues. We are in the parliament. And we've espoused so many causes for women. That is enough para ipaliwanag po na iba yung Gabriela Women's Party. And we are educating people about it, diba?
Yeah. So speaking of education, let's talk about the intricacies of these organizations. Because under this current atmosphere that we have now, it seems like it's quite easy for people to lump together different groups under one category. So you have the underground movement, you have the armed movement, which is of course doing something illegal because that is against the law. But how about the organizations that are participating in the parliament, legitimate cause-oriented groups, especially even if they are left-leaning? I mean, how do you differentiate them?
How do we do differentiate?
Yeah.
O, yung sabi ko nga kanina, we have a track record, ano? Kasi we do not know kung ano yung iba pang mga organizations. Pero kami, we have a track record of 20 years of doing this legislative measures nga. We have the VAUSI, the Anti-Trafficking in Persons. We have the Juvenile Justice Welfare Act. We participated in those. Nakikita nyo naman kami at very above board lagi, no, ang aming ano. Even sa mga protests, we also participate in the protests kasi we also have the right to dissent. And guaranteed constitutional right naman natin yung lahat na yon. Free speech, 'di ba? And free press and freedom of expression. Kaya we do that sa Congress. And lahat ng mga interpellations, speeches, etc. Lahat po yan, merong mga researches, meron tayong mga data, meron tayong mga pinagbabatayan.
Okay. Now, how could this impact, for example, groups such as yours? Because you know that we had a party list law in 1995, and one of the intentions of the Constitution, when it was drafted in 1986 and of course adopted in 87, in introducing that party list opportunity was to also encourage groups such as yours to participate in the parliament. Now, given the immense red baiting which is happening now, how do you think this could affect that particular intention or wisdom behind the party list law?
Actually, we are being targeted talaga. Hindi naman na kami nagugulat dyan kasi they want us out of parliament. As much as possible, yung may mga critical and siguro merong mga iba, no, na pagtanaw kesa dun sa majority, and iba yung actually yung iba yung iba yung opinions, iba or opposite, no, yung in the opposition. Kami talaga yung target for that. Kasi bakit? Kasi kami yung we actually kami yung nagsasabi ng katotohanan, ano yung nangyayari sa mga marginalized, ano yung nangyayari sa mga mahihirap, ano yung causes ng mga peasant natin ngayon, ano yung mga kalagayan ng magsasaka, mangingisda,
but I think,
at ng marginalized.
But I think the accusation against group like yours is that you are front organizations of the underground movement. You've heard this many times, and you're using funding coming from the government which you get as party-list organizations to support the underground movement. How do you respond to that?
Actually, those are baseless allegations. Wala pong katotohanan, wala din silang maipakita na ebidensya, wala din silang puro hearsay, puro sinasabi lang. Kahit po hindi, it won't hold water, no? Kaya we have to talk about kung ano yung talagang causes namin, di ba? Okay. So, wag nilang i-divert yung mga issues and very, very legitimate issues, no, lalong-lalo na ng Gabriela Women's Party.
Okay. Now, we know that we now have the new Anti-Terrorism Act of 2020, which strengthens the Human Security Act of 2007. Do you think this could affect your chances in 2022 in the party list election, given the idea that your group might easily be designated as a terrorist organization, and that could predictably affect your campaign for the 2022 party list election? Is this a concern of yours?
Yes, of course. Tina-target talaga kami. Sabi ko nga from the start, tinarget talaga kami. And ito, sa tingin namin, gagamitin talaga for us. With, kung itong anti-terror law, no, na this was particularly designed para hindi magsalita, no, magkaroon ng chilling effect, lalong-lalo na doon sa mga very, very vocal and very, very forward na magsabi kung ano ang mga kakulangan, kailangang baguhin ng government na ito, no? We say truth to power. So talagang kami yung target dito. Sa isang state, no, na may impunity, yun yung kanyang ginagawa. all the laws and mechanisms para hindi na magsalita yung mga tao. Lalo-lalo na yung mga kritiko and those with dissenting opinions.
Okay. But how are you preparing for that? Because this might happen. You now have the Anti-Terrorism Council having that power to designate individuals and groups as terrorist organizations or terrorists. So, I mean, what if this is used against, what if Gabriela is designated or other members of the Makabayan bloc? How basically are you preparing for that possibility, especially during the campaign for 2022?
Actually, we are doing our job. We are continuing yung mga causes na kailangan. Kasi hindi pwedeng magpa-intimidate ka eh. Kailangan, you have to fight back. For example, you have to say what you need to say. Kailangan mong gawin yung mga bagay na ginagawa mo. You have to organize, no? You have to enlighten people. You have to educate the people kung ano yung condition. Kaibahan ng Duterte administration, Christian, ngayon, ang ginagawa nila, ang harassment, may reprisal from the authorities. They have money. They have so much money, funding, para dito sa pag-atake, no? Sa mga human rights defenders, para sa mga peace advocates, para doon sa mga ino-oppress.
Okay.
So matindi to, no?
Now, speaking of reprisals, do you think Liza Soberano is in a bit of danger following this warning or statement on Facebook coming from General Parlade?
Vilification, saka yung mga red tagging na ginagawa, nag-endanger talaga.
But in this case, General Parlade made it clear that he was not red-baiting Liza Soberano. Is that enough assurance?
No, may veiled threat siya eh. So parang right after niya sabihin yon, sinabi niya rin, no, na technically parang binabrand mo yung tao na she will do this, so therefore ganito yung mangyayari sa'yo. Ganun yung ano niya.
Okay, now speaking of that warning, he mentioned, General Parlade mentioned Josephine Lapira. What exactly happened to her? Let's refresh the memories of our viewers regarding Lapira, the 22-year-old former student of UP Manila who was killed in an encounter in Batangas.
Yes. Oo. I believe nakita ko rin yung mga reports niyan. Actually, you cannot bar the person kung ano yung kanyang mga opinions. And definitely, hindi mo siya madidiktahan. You cannot do that, diba? So, ano man ang mga decisions niya, it was her own decision, no? O di kaya yung iba pang mga sumama, yung iba pang mga mga nakasali, no, na dating mga miyembro ng Gabriela Women's Party, hindi mo sila pwedeng diktahan kung ano ang iisipin nila at gagawin nila. Definitely. So that is why sinabi nga namin, you can't mansplain yung mga tao. If they believe in it, if they know kung ano yung gusto nila, ano yung kanilang gagawin, and malaya po sila kasi garantiya yon sa atin ng konstitusyon kung ano yung ating mga we have the freedom of thought. We have the freedom of expression. We have that. So,
yeah, of course. Yung
nangyari kay Jo Lapira, dahil estudyante siya ng UP Manila, she decided to go to the mountains at doon ay ipakita yung kanyang kung ano ang kanyang talents or whatever, diba?
But she began as a member of Gabriela Youth.
Oo, isa siya sa mga miyembro. Pero kami din naman, marami kaming miyembro kahit sa ang mga hindi rin naman namin sila mapipigilan kung gusto nilang sa security sector din or kung saan man or kung ganyan. Marami kaming history niyan.
What do you mean security sector?
For example, kapag may hindi namin siya mapipigilan, halimbawa kung magpupulis or magdodoktor or anything, 'di ba? But we in the Gabriela Women's Party, nandito kami to espouse yung aming mga causes on women, di ba? On social justice, on explain to them kung ano ang kalagayan na meron tayo sa Pilipinas.
Yeah, because of course that is the libertarian view in terms of promoting social justice, but we also need to talk about the other side because despite this veiled threat that you described to refer to the Facebook post of General Parlade, there are also those who saw that post as some sort of a parental advice or fatherly advice to a very young woman regarding what could happen to her, the dangers that lie ahead if she proceeds down this route. And we also know that there are a lot of parents who are also concerned, legitimate as your advocacies are, but there are also parents who are very much concerned about what might happen to their children if they become part of left-leaning organizations such as Gabriela. How do you respond to this?
Actually, sabi ko nga the more na hindi mo pwedeng i-bar yung information, no, sa tao. So, ano man yung mga information na nakukuha niya, it is her right also, her or his right, no, na malaman yung lahat ng mga nangyayari sa bansa. Actually, hindi siya, my take on General Parlades fatherly advice, sa totoo lang, he doesn't need to Kasi yung tao naman, meron siyang sariling decision niya, meron siyang, lalo na sa mga kababaihan, you don't need to tell them that, no? You don't need to explain to them that kasi meron nga silang mga sariling opinion at sariling at yung kung concern niya yon, well, concern niya yon, pero hindi naman yun kailangang sabihin niya na parang in a veiled threat dun sa kay Liza Soberano. And for that matter, ganun din sa mga magulang na nag-aalala, you have to give your children the credit, no? If they have all the proper information, then they will decide kung ano yung mabuti para sa kanila, sa lahat.
Okay, Congresswoman Arlene Brosas, thank you for joining us this morning.